Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving. Let's be thankful that Kamala lost, okay? And I thought that we could have a positive day and kind of just focus on some stuff that's fun to look at because apparently Kamala was never ahead of Trump in the polls, and their internal campaign polls showed that, and it was all just one big lie, right? What is that all about? Let's see. A senior advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris during her presidential campaign has admitted that internal polling consistently showed she was unlikely to defeat President-elect Donald Trump, contrary to the optimistic picture presented to donors. We were told she had a real shot at winning. It wasn't even a question, Harris campaign fundraiser Lindy Lee said. I was told Pennsylvania was looking good and we would win 3 to 4 swing states. On election night, they told us we were going to win Iowa. However, Harris senior advisor David Plouffe painted a very different picture during an episode of Pod Save America. He revealed the campaign never saw the same leads reflected in the public polls, which showed the Harris performing well in battleground states. We didn't get the breaks we needed on election day, Plouffe said. There were public polls in late September, early October, showing us with leads we never saw internally. The podcast episode featured Plouffe and other top aides, including Jen O'Malley, Dylan, Stephanie Cutter, Quentin Fulks, dissecting the reasons behind Harris's decisive defeat. They acknowledged the internal data consistently showed the vice president trailing Trump in key battleground states, contradicting the narrative pushed to fundraisers and donors. That's interesting. Is there a level of fraud there? I wonder what the legal obligations are in terms of rallying your donors when you're using public polls that completely disagree with your internal polls. Because here's the other thing. They spent like $1.4 billion on the campaign. They're still $20 million in debt. And now they're trying to collect funds to raise money. They're trying to raise money to pay off their debt. So I'm really wondering if there's a level of fraudulent spending involved, because how do you spend $1.4 billion, 3 times as much as your opponent? Lee slammed the campaign's lack of transparency. Oh my God, they're upset about the same thing. Lee slammed the campaign's lack of transparency, calling it absolutely not normal for such information to be obscured. I've been doing this since I graduated from college more than a decade ago. Absolutely not. Adding that the campaign now faces a trust deficit with donors. Exactly what I'm talking about. What were they doing with their money? How'd they spend $1.4 billion? How were they $20 million short? And what's going on with them not paying any of their vendors, any of their donors, but they could pay all the hip hop artists that showed up to throw free concerts for everyone that wanted to show up for a Kamala rally? What's up with that, man? That's the neoliberal classist crap that I'm talking about from these people. That's exactly why people are leaving them on the left in droves. That's why they've lost the minds of classical liberals like us. Despite public polls that showed Harris closing the gap or even surpassing Trump in battleground states, Plouffe acknowledged on the podcast that the campaign never saw those numbers internally. When Kamala Harris became the nominee, she was behind. We kind of climbed back, and even post-debate, we still had ourselves down in battleground states, but very close. By the end, it was all a jump ball race. Man, thankfully she lost. And honestly, she was always going to lose. And everything they were saying about her being ahead in the polls was a giant propaganda piece. So, look at that. And to follow that up and to follow that realization up, I think we have a great article here, a great second article. Woman engage in mass primal scream in wake of Trump victory. Releasing our pain. Remarkable footage shows Wisconsin women screaming in unison towards Lake Michigan in the wake of Vice President Harris's loss to President-elect Trump. The footage, which recently went viral on social media, was originally posted by a Facebook user named Tamara Gibbs. The event took place in Clode Park, Whitefish Bay on November 9th. The extraordinary video shows around 24 adult women screeching at the water. The screams eventually reach a crescendo, where the video shows the shrieks getting gradually louder and louder until the group stopped. What a gorgeous morning to gather at Cloud Park and Whitefish Bay to engage in a primal scream in order to release our pain and frustration after the election, Gibbs wrote on Facebook. If you zoom in, you will see Trump supporters proudly waving their flag on top of the hill. Yo, this is like embarrassing yourself. You're sitting there screaming in pain while Trump supporters just wave a flag in victory. What are you doing, bro? Where's your emotional discipline? Where's your psychological resilience? How do you expect to accomplish in life? Come on, man. Dude. Anyway, so it just repeats itself. I thought it was hilarious. Let's see if we can go ahead and watch real quick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo. Yo. Yo, no way. Oh, whatever. Screw it. That's hilarious. I love it. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Okay. So, final article today, guys. So we saw it was all a big lie. She was never ahead. Okay. We saw, screaming in pain while Trump supporters wave their flags on a hill. Okay, whatever. Now, this is hilarious. Okay. Please don't. Democrat strategist begs Kamala Harris not to run for president again in 2028. Democrat strategist Thurin Bond begged Vice President Kamala Harris not to run for president again after Harris told allies she was staying in the fight. Democrat strategist begged Harris not to run for president again after she said she was staying in the fight, eyeing up a 2028 presidential campaign. Lady, are you insane? Your whole campaign was an embarrassment, and you don't have a political history to stand on that has anything good to reference. Asked on Newsmax National Report whether it was a good idea for VP Harris to continue her political ambitions, Bond said not to run for president again in 2028. Please don't. She continued, I can't really speak for the governor of California. Californians seem to support her significantly. We haven't been able to measure what that support looks like after the current run she just had. That may be the only thing that she, I guess, may make sense for her to consider, but another shot at the presidency, I hope she doesn't. And if she's relying on those same advisors that advised her this cycle, that is not who I would listen to. Wow, that is quite the disparaging comment there on the campaign from someone who's on your own side, dude. Come on, man. Like the left needs to take responsibility for this shift that they've made way, way far to the extreme left. And at this point, they're trying to redefine it as the center, and everything to the right of it is right wing. And it's absolutely inappropriate, man. You guys need to take responsibility for the fact that you've lost the cultural zeitgeist, and you've absolutely lost any type of touch that you've had to culture and what people are looking for to be provided by from their government, man. Republican strategist Luke Ball, of course, agreed that California gubernatorial campaign may be Harris's only shot in her defeat to President-elect Donald Trump. She did sweep California, but I mean, is that not really expected? I think that's one of the only states where she might actually have an edge. He argued she'd have a high name ID, but if she ran anywhere else in the country, I don't think she'd be able to get elected to dog catcher, unfortunately, because if I'm a donor, if I'm a Democrat, I'm looking at this race and I'm looking at the aftermath, and we start going through the autopsy of the campaign, and I'm seeing that we're paying millions of dollars to celebrity to AstroTurf the campaign instead of spending money on critical resources. Wow. No. Wow. Yeah, right. You're not going to donate because of how they're spending the money. That makes so I didn't even think about that angle. I was thinking not going to donate because they totally botched the PR game. No, you're not going to donate because they blew all the money, man. Where did all that go? Dude, that's sketched out. I'm sketched out by that campaign. I'm sketched out by the principles that were on display in that campaign, the manipulation they engaged in. I'm sketched out by who was behind them, the intelligence agency connections, the DOJ connections, the support from the executive branch. I'm sketched out by literally the neoliberal policies that they represent, man. And let's just be grateful that they lost, man. It's Thanksgiving Day on a version of the universe that Kamala Harris did not win, right? So that's something to be grateful for, guys. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on this short video. I really appreciate you. I had a lot of fun, and this is gonna be only one today because it's Thanksgiving. Gonna hopefully spend some time with the family, and I'll see you guys on the next one.